Flash Meteorologist Steve Downey here from the coolest temperatures along the I-95 corridor since the spring, to 20 plus degrees warmer than normal across the Heartland, to two hurricanes within 400 miles of each other. A lot going on this Tuesday in the last day of September. Weather world. Let's talk about the tropics real quick. Here we are with Imelda and Humberto. There's Imelda, not too far away from the Florida coastline, the South Carolina, North Carolina coastline, and not too far off to the northeast is Humberto. Humberto became a Category 5 hurricane, is no longer a Category 5. That is not a storm. It looks like a Category 5 on satellite anymore. These two storms within less than 500 miles of each other. We'll have to do some digging in terms of the closest Atlantic hurricanes in proximity to each other on record, because these two awfully close. Here's the cone from the Hurricane Center. There's the red outline right there around Bermuda. That is a hurricane warning in effect for Bermuda. We'll be live streaming coverage of the impacts on Bermuda from Imelda. Those will come Wednesday afternoon into the evening. We will likely see wind gusts over 90 miles per hour on the island of Bermuda. This is, of course, something they haven't seen before, but still an impactful weather event for Bermuda coming late Wednesday. Meanwhile, across the lower 48, we are looking good. There's both Imelda and Humberto moving out on the latest run of the American model. They move off to the east away from the U.S. That allows a huge area of high pressure to build in across the tri-state region, across New England. We are talking about some cool temperatures here. Look at Friday morning. White Plains, New York, yeah, mid to upper 40s. How about some 30s in upstate New York? Is it ski season in Stowe, Vermont yet? If not, it's close. Look at some of these lighter blues up into northern Vermont, into western Maine. Some lows near the freezing mark. 50s all the way down to the Carolinas. Could even be flirting with a few upper 40s back towards the Piedmont, if that's hard to believe. This is Friday morning, but this map that I'm going to show it to you right now really shows the story of the dichotomy really in temperatures across the country to end this work week. Across the upper Midwest, the northern plains, we're talking temperatures, 20, 25 degrees above normal for Iowa, the Dakotas, Minneapolis, the rest of the land of 10,000 lakes. Meanwhile, to the east, look at this expansive area of blues. Yeah. Mid-Atlantic, Carolinas, even down to Miami. We're talking temperatures 5 to 10 to almost 12 degrees below average to wrap up this work week heading into the weekend. But then the heat tries to move eastward by this coming Sunday into Monday, and we'll be back well into the 80s across much of the eastern third of the country heading into next week, the first full week of October. So with this big area of high pressure, you can forget about any rain chances north of the panhandle of Florida, east of the Mississippi, basically in the northeastern quadrant of the country through the weekend, maybe at least until Monday and Tuesday of next week. And then we are in October. Hurricane season doesn't end until November 30th, even though it usually takes a bit of a backdrop or a bit of a step back once we hit November. The question is, in the tropics, what happens next? We're looking pretty good for the next week to 10 days. We could have an area form out here in the central Atlantic from a tropical wave that'll move off of Africa. But this late in the year, it's hard to get any of those African waves to get far enough to impact the U.S. because of cold fronts that have been moving off the East Coast that act as kind of force fields to the rest of the country from any tropical impacts. After that, as we enter kind of the second full week of October, we'll watch the Caribbean, we'll watch the Gulf. This is the typical time of the year for Gulf hurricanes, for Caribbean, especially hurricanes. Milton last year formed right around this time. So that'll be the area we watch as we head into kind of that first and really second week of October. But I'll tell you what, along the East Coast later on this week, enjoy the cooler weather. If you like the heat, if you like summer to stick around, well, it's sticking around for several days across the northern plains into the upper Midwest before then that migrates eastward. This is departure from average temperatures, and it's going to start to get a little hotter across the rest of the country for the first week of October, first full week of October. So the good news, Imelda not impacting the U.S. except for rip currents, some dangerous waves, some brisk ocean waters, that's for sure, thanks to both Humberto and Imelda. Imelda going to directly impact Bermuda tomorrow. We'll be covering that. Plus, winter weather. Yeah, it's around the corner. Here we are, entering October. Flash, the leaders, the pioneers of next generation severe weather and tropical cyclone forecasting will be live tomorrow with those Imelda impacts in Bermuda.